A distant view of Sizergh, an impressive grey stone building set amongst rich green grounds with lush green trees. We move closer with an aerial view of the rectangular turreted towers, 3-storey buildings, low-level outbuildings and a glinting lake.
Welcome to Sizergh. The historic house, gardens and estate have been in the Strickland family for over 800 years, and there are so many ways you can experience Sizergh's unique history and beauty. This film will show you some of the walking routes on the Sizergh estate.
A finger post points to walks in 3 different directions. An aerial view shows us the undulating countryside around the estate, dotted with trees, with the hills and peaks of the Lake District in the distance. We travel over the craggy hills, the rich woodland and gushing stream.
The estate is a nature lover's paradise, with sweeping views, wildlife-rich farmland, craggy fells, the dramatic gorge of the River Kent and 170 hectares of semi-ancient woodland. It's managed through the hard work of the tenant farmers and their families, and the National Trust's own ranger team.
Narrow paths dissect the fields. We journey along a lane with trees and bushes either side. We go through a gate and wind along with tall trees to the side and a mossy stone wall on our left.
Much of the estate is accessible via a network of public and permissive footpaths. The most accessible route is the Hull Slack Loop. This route is perfect for people with pushchairs, trampers, reduced mobility and young children. 2 powered mobility vehicles, or trampers, are available to hire at visitors' reception. Please book online in advance of your visit.
A visitor drives a tramper along a wide path between the fields, accompanied by a friend walking alongside her.
From this route, you'll see Sizergh's agricultural land and ancient woodlands. You'll pass traditional farmhouses and the ice house.
A dark space with an arched opening in a stone wall. We move out into a meadow with butterflies fluttering around the wild flowers, before returning to a path through the woods and to the visitor in the tramper.
Look out for deer, butterflies such as meadow browns, commers and speckled woods, as well as the rare hawfinches. As you follow the path, you'll pass the historic orchards, where there is incredible moss and lichens which grow on the old trees and walls. This circular route is 1.5 kilometres and is well surfaced over the entire pathway. All of the gates are easily accessible and a large part of the route is fenced off from livestock.
We travel along the pathways. A cabbage-white butterfly flaps its wings amongst the purple thistles and long grass.
There are benches along the route, allowing plenty of chances to sit and take in these restorative surroundings, which provide a home to hundreds of birds, bats and invertebrates.
The finger post pointing in 3 different directions. We fly over the grasslands with the views of the hills in the distance.
There's an option to take an additional path up to St John's Church for stunning views over the estate and beyond. If you're using a tramper, we recommend that only confident users take this path as it is very steep. There are 3 other waymarked routes across the estate: Sizergh Fell, Park End and Church Fell. These routes are on unsurfaced footpaths across grasslands and woodlands and can be steep in sections. Other routes include the challenging but rewarding walk to Helsington Barrows, which is at the northern end of the Sizergh estate and is our highest point.
A steep, narrow pathway leads up the hillside, offering expansive views under a cloudy sky.
It has been designated as a site of special scientific interest due to its wildflower and invertebrate communities.
In close-up, a bee collects nectar from the flowers whilst dewdrops on cobwebs glisten. We arrive at a bird hide where a birdwatcher sits ready with a large camera looking out over the wetland. A mother moorhen swims with her fluffy chick.
Dropping down into the Lythe Valley, The Park End project has restored 38 hectares of National Trust-owned land into a matrix of wetland, reedbed, species-rich fenland and meadows to improve the land for its value for wildlife.
An overhead view of the dense woodland and a path running alongside a river.
The River Kent forms the eastern boundary of the Sizergh estate, tumbling past woodland and farmland, including a spectacular limestone gorge section in Low Park Wood. The river drops 700 metres in elevation over a relatively short length, so it's particularly powerful. This powerful energy source is the reason Low Park Wood was the site of the former New Sedgwick gunpowder works, the remains of which are still visible. These routes are Helsington Barrows, Park End Moss, Sizergh Fell, and Low Park Wood include uneven paths and fields. So speak to our team and pick up a map at the Visitors Centre to choose the best way for you to explore the estate at Sizergh.
A member of staff shows a map of the estate to a visitor. We fly over the estate. The screen fades to darkness. The oak leaf logo of the National Trust. The National Trust is written in white letters on a black background.